The final boss is back. It's go time. Season 3 is here. Are you tuning in? Every Sunday is Sitting Down Sundays with the final boss. Get ready for an inspiring journey as we dive deep into the transformation from the nation's capital to the entertainment capital of the world. This is the conversation that will ignite your dreams and fuel your ambitions. What you'll experience: game-changing insights from industry leaders, real talk about making impossible dreams possible, the blueprint for leveling up your life, motivation that hits different. This isn't just another podcast episode. This is your wake-up call to greatness. Don't just listen, absorb, don't just hear. Transform, don't just dream, execute. Drop a like in the comments if you're ready to level up with us.
Welcome to the Final Boss Podcast. It's Sunday night. It is Sunday night. Sitting down with the Final Boss. Let's go. Whew, man, what a night. Hey, listen, I must truly love you guys. I have a great show for you tonight. My team is playing. I am able to record, but it's not the same watching it live, man. And we're up right now, so I'm pretty excited. Go Rams, baby. Go Rams. This is Ramley. This is the Ramley's house over here. So, man, look, this is episode number, can you believe it? Episode number 148. Episode number 148. On our way to episode 200. Episode 200, ladies and gentlemen. Man, I got a great show for you tonight, man. This is amazing. And you know, before we get started, to each and every single last one of you, thank you for joining us, no matter where you're joining us from, no matter what platform you're watching from, whether it's Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Instagram, Spotify. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. We greatly appreciate you for being here. And look, please continue to drop your comments on whatever social media platform that you're watching us from. Continue to drop those comments. Please continue to send us emails and like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Continue to like, share, and subscribe, man. We greatly appreciate it. Look, we're on this journey together, and we're all on this community. It's the Final Boss community. It's the Final Boss Nation. And, you know, y'all see it. I got my trusty mug tonight. Shout out to my team for doing their thing. Yeah. Now, if I go back up, now I'm not going to jinx it. Look, we're going to get that win tonight. We're going to get the big old W. Yes, sir. Man, how y'all feeling out there? Man? Let me know how y'all feel in the chat, man. Let me know. Where's Chakandi? I know she's here. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, ma'am. I am here. We are here. And you look, tonight's show is a doozy. You know, I have the most difficult of conversations when I'm by myself. Like, I enjoy my guests, even the Tech Tuesday, the Sensei and I, when we're discussing like AI and things of that nature. It's some of those topics can be quite difficult, but the real difficult conversations happen right here, right? They happen right here on Sitting Down Sundays with the Final Boss. So for each and every last single one of you, thank you for being here. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough. So right? We're gonna get right into it, man. This is episode number 48. But first, make sure you go check out the website. The website is at www.thefinalbosspodcast.com. Again, that's www.thefinalbosspodcast.com. Go send us an email. We love emails, man. Send us some emails at info at thefinalbosspodcast.com. That's info at thefinalbosspodcast.com. Send us an email, man. We respond, and you know what? If we like your response, we'll send you an invite and invite you to the show. Come join the conversation. But before we get into tonight's show, I have to say this. I have to give this disclaimer, right? Freedom of speech. Wait, you know what? I got ahead of myself. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is for entertainment purposes only. Now, back to the normal scheduled program. Freedom of speech is under attack. Freedom of speech is under attack, people. And man, I'm not going to say that it's just started. I'm not going to say that it's been going on, but from the lens that I see, from my POV, it is definitely under attack. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get into tonight's brass tacks. Tonight's brass tacks comes from Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou, everyone. It's a short brass tacks for tonight, but it coincides with tonight's episode. Hope, and here it is, Maya Angelou. Hope and fear cannot occupy the same place. Hope and fear cannot occupy the same place. Maya Angelou, ladies and gentlemen, Maya Angelou. Now, let me set this camera up, and we can get right into tonight's episode number 148. On our way to episode number 200. I believe that because the holiday is next week, we're going to take some time off. Right? We're going to take some time off, and we're going to come back. And when we come back, I think we're going to come back to episode 150, which is going to be a pivotal moment, right? Episode number 150. Look, because of you, because of us, because of the community, because of the Final Boss Nation, we're able to accomplish these things. Episode 150. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. So, episode number 150. I think that after, let's see, what's tonight? Episode's 148. I got motivation, and then I think motivation, and then we're going to do a mid-season break and come back after the holiday for episode number 150. I think that's what I'm going to end up. That's what the plan is going to be. But while we're here, look, while we're here on our way to episode number 200, man, these are exciting times. These are exciting times, right? So, look, tonight's episode, the media is selling you pain and hope. They're selling you pain and hope. They're causing you the problem and then providing you with some medicine. And the medicine is temporary, right? The medicine is temporary. And the cycle repeats itself. So, episode number 148, the media is selling you pain and hope. And man, we're going to get right into it. I hope you guys are locked in, because I'm locked in. Look, I'm not locked in. Where's my trusty pen? First of all, flag on the play to me, because I don't have my trusty pointer pen that I need. And damn it, this is going to have to do. this right here is going to have to do. So, yeah. Whew. I hope you guys are getting yourself mentally prepared for this critical thinking agility test that we're about to go on and journey, right? Right? I hope you're prepared, man. And because this is an uncomfortable truth. And this is the fuel you need to stay on that what? That fired up train, man. The fired up train just doesn't cover excellence and greatness. It is also the you are providing fuel to the fired up train. And it's like no other night. We're on 4 days a week, and on Sundays, the sitting down Sundays with the final boss. And listen, man, tonight we're not just sitting down. We're strapping into a conversation that's going to challenge everything you think you know about the information that you consume daily. Right? The media is a trickster. It's selling you pain and it's selling you hope, right? Now, I want my smarts and my motivators to my smarts, my motivators, to my final bosses, to my warriors, right? Who are listening right now. Do me a favor. Think about the last 3 news stories you saw. It could be today, it could have been yesterday. Just think about those stories, right? Go ahead, I'll wait. I'll give you some time to think about it. Yeah, got them? Good. All right. Now ask yourself, did those stories make you feel afraid? Did they make you feel angry? Right? Did they promise you a solution if you just kept watching? Right? Did they promise you a solution if you kept clicking on your devices or scrolling on your devices? No? They did? What you say? Oh, they did? There's a reason for that, right? That's not an accident, family. Final Boss Nation. That's by design, people. And listen, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So I'm going to be pulling the curtains back. And this is another one. I talked about a great hustle a few weeks ago that I got in trouble for, talking about the subscription based business model. And tonight we're going to be talking about the hustle and flow of pain and hope. Hustle and flow of pain and hope. And that's crazy. Right? How these corporations and these social platforms and even some content creators have perfected the art of selling you an emotional roller coaster disguised as information. They're dealing with you, right? Like a certain type of dealer, right? And the product is your attention. The currency is your peace of mind. So let's start with the truth bomb because I love truth bomb. Who doesn't love truth bombs, right? The news media is not the business of information, of informing you. They're in the business of keeping you watching. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a headline that read, everything's going to be pretty much okay today? Today is going to be a great day. And even those shows, they use marketing words like good. They don't run headlines to let you know that it's going to be okay today. Name one time that you see that. Look, you're not. You can go do the research. You're not going to find it. Right? And that's a never, because they aren't selling you information. That's not what they do. That doesn't make you click. That doesn't make you share it with the outraged friends on social media who are trapped in the same echo chamber that you're trapped in. The business model of modern media is simple. Emotional engagement equals what? What equals dollar signs. Every news organization, every social media platform, every content creator is competing for one thing, and that's your eyeballs, your attention. And research has shown time and time again that negative content, fear-inducing content, outrage-inducing content performs better than anything positive. People don't want to hear about what's positive. People don't want to hear about how great it is. They just don't. I know why a lot of times I look on social media and I have zero interactions or zero views on positive comment, and then I have a couple million on something else. It's not by chance, right? And there's a saying in journalism that's been around for decades. If it bleeds, it leads. But let me tell you, in 2025, that has evolved. Now, right now, because you have information at your fingertips, the new saying is, if it triggers, it delivers, baby. If it triggers, it delivers. And according to a study from the Pew Research Center, negative news stories are 63% more likely to be clicked on than the positive ones. 63%. And social media algorithms have learned this. They've been trained on billions of data points that show when you're angry, when you're scared, or when you're anxious, you stay on the platform longer. You know what that means, people? Your fear is monetizable. Your fear is monetizable, right? Your anxiety has a price tag. And every single day, media companies are cashing in on all of those things. Your fears, your anxieties, your depression, right? And get this, because I'm gonna break it down for you. I'm going to break it down for you. Let's talk about the pain cycle, right? The formula that keeps you hooked, and it's a several step phase. Let's see. It's what I think it's like 3 or 4 steps. It's like 3 or 4 steps. Step 1: the media presents the problem. It could be economic collapse. It could be political corruption. It could be climate catastrophe, health scares, whatever, pandemics. The problem is positioned as imminent, urgent, and treating and threatening to you personally, right? Personally. Step 2: the amplifier or amplification. They just don't tell you about the problem once. They hammer it every hour, every second, every minute, every angle you could think of from all the experts that are paid with new data coming every second, every minute, every day, with victims even who sometimes are also paid. I'm sorry. The problem grows in your mind from this is concerning to this is an existential threat, right? Then, right? Pay attention. Don't go nowhere. Stay with me. Don't you change that, right? Record that game. Stop playing with me. Step 3 is paralysis. Now you're scared, you're angry, you feel powerless because the problems they're presenting are so massive. Bigly, right? Bigly, massive. So complex that you, yes, you, one person couldn't possibly fix them. So you stay tuned in for what's next. And now they have you, because that's the trap. That's the paralysis trap. And fourth, the hope injection. Just when you're at your peak anxiety level, they give you the hope. It might be a political candidate who promises to fix everything. It might be a product that will protect you. It might be a movement you can join. But the message is always the same. Don't worry, there's a solution. And we'll tell you what it is if you keep watching. It's the bait. The bait, man. It's the bait. It's a mean bait. And then the cycle repeats itself. New crisis, new fear, new hope, over and over and over again. This is classical conditioning, family. Classical. Pavlov's dogs, except instead of salivating for food, you're salivating for the next hit of outrage or the next promise that everything is going to be okay. And now they've gotten even better. They've come to realize that they can provide you with something that's either in imminent danger or is here to save you, all in one. All in one. Examples of that? Man. Just look up in the sky. Just look up in the sky sometimes, man. Those are examples of both. It could be either imminent danger or it could be here to rescue, but you would never know, right? Now, let's get scientific for a minute since we're talking about that, because this is where it gets real. Excuse me. Your brain, your brain has a neurotransmitter called dopamine. You've heard of dopamine, right? We've all heard of it. It's the feel-good chemical, right? But dopamine doesn't just make you feel good. It's also released in anticipation of reward, right? And response to threat detection. When you see a breaking news alert, your brain gets a hit of dopamine. Oh, new information. I need to know this. I need to know this to stay safe. When you see an outrageous social media post, bing, dopamine. When you check your phone for updates, bing, dopamine. The tech companies know this too. Former executives from FB, from T and the I, they're going to all, they've all been recorded admitting that these platforms were designed to be addictive. The founding president of F said that they literally exploit vulnerability in human psychology, right? Tristan Harris, former design ethicist at G, called it hijacking people's minds. These platforms use the same psychological principles as slot machines. And I've talked about that before. And variable rewards, infinite scroll, notifications designed to create anxiety that only clicking can relieve, or doom scrolling. And the media organizations feeding you content into these platforms. They're complicit. Every headline is an A/B test. Every thumbnail is optimized for optional response. Every story is structured to leave you wanting more. Like I need you to stay here so you can want more right now. Because I'm delivering bad news. Don't you hear this bad news? Stay right there. I have more bad news for you. Think about it. You're consuming news, but really, we're being consumed by the news. Your attention, your emotions, your time, it's all being harvested and sold for a price. But who is buying it? Let me tell you. It's the advertisers. It's the ads. Right? And here's something that's going to sting a little bit. Consuming more news doesn't make you more informed. Often, it makes you less informed. Listen, I know what you're thinking. I know what you guys are thinking, right? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, find a boss. I need to stay up to date. I need to know what's happening in the world. And I get that, right? I'm not saying become ignorant. I'm saying there's a difference between being informed and being inundated. Right? I know I jacked that word up. I know I did. Look, there was a Swiss author that wrote an entire book called Stop Reading the News. Stop Reading the News. His argument was that news is designed to be consumed quickly with maximum emotional impact and minimum context. It's the mental equivalent of eating fast food every single day, right? Think about it. When you read a news article about economics or economic policy, do you really understand the nuances? Or are you just getting a soundbite designed to make you feel a certain way about a politician or a certain party, right? When you see footage of a conflict halfway around the world, does it cause you to consume more of that content every day? Does it? Or does it actually help the situation? Or, right? Or does it just make you feel anxious and helpless? The Harvard Business Review published their research. They published research showing that people who consumed less compulsively were more pessimistic about the world, more stressed, and less able to focus on their own goals and priorities. You're not staying informed, you're staying anxious. And that anxiety is the product they're selling. Now, look, let me tell you, you know, my military experience, right? My military experience taught me information without action is just noise. Bars. And most of what the media feeds you is noise designed to keep you distracted from what actually matters, right? What actually matters? Your family, your business, your health, your purpose. Those things actually matter, right? Now, here's where the hustle gets even more sophisticated because selling pain is only half the business model. The other half of the business model is selling you hope. And once they've got you scared, anxious, overwhelmed, The media pivots to the solution. But here's the trick. The solution is always external. It's always external. It's something you need to buy, vote for, subscribe to, join, ingest, right? Remember that. Political media is the most obvious example. And I want you guys to pay attention to this, right? Make sure you taking notes, right? Whatever. Have your writing utensil. Make sure you take notes on this. Because political media is the most obvious example of this. They paint a picture of disaster. If the other side wins, then position their candidate as the savior. Things are terrible. But if you vote for X, they'll fix everything. Then X gets elected, and guess what? Things are still terrible. So now you need to vote for Y. Right? And the cycle just keeps repeating itself. The cycle keeps repeating itself. It's the same with consumer media. You're unhappy because you don't have this type of car, this type of phone, this type of lifestyle. They sell you that in pain and inadequacy. Then they sell you the hope of fulfillment through consumption, right? Even the wellness industry is playing the same game. You're not feeling well because of toxins, stress, bad habits. Then they sell you the supplements, the programs, the retreats, the promise to fix you, right? Even self-improvement content, they're in on it, right? And look, even some podcasters, right? They fall into the trap. They sell you the pain of where you are, then they sell you the hope of where you could be. It is a vicious cycle. And it makes so much sense, man. I hope you can hear it. If what they say, let those with eyes let those with eyes to see, and let those with ears can hear, right? The difference between authentic motivation and manipulation, right? There's a difference. Authentic motivation empowers you to act from your own agency, right? That's what we're doing, right? Manipulation makes you dependent on external solutions. Here's what I want my final bosses, my motivators, my warriors, and my smarts to do. I want y'all to understand something. Real hope doesn't come from consuming more content. Real hope comes from taking action in your own life with what you can control, right? And let's talk about division. Let's talk about division, because this is where the media's business model gets truly sinister, right? You ever notice how every issue is framed as us versus them? Every issue. Conservative versus liberal, black versus white, rich versus poor, old versus young, vaxxed versus unvaxxed. Every single issue is this versus them. Every single one. Why? Why? Because conflict creates engagement, and engagement creates profit, right? A study from NYU Center for Social Media and Politics found that content containing more emotional language, basically, right? Basically, the content that makes you feel morally outraged about another side spreads 20% faster on social media than neutral content. The algorithm doesn't care about truth. It doesn't care about nuance. It cares about engagement. And nothing drives engagement like making you feel like your side is under attack. So, what does the media do? What do they do? You ask. Oh, I'm the final boss. I'm going to tell you. They take complex issues, things that might have 50 different perspectives and solutions, and they boil them down to two opposing camps. Yes, division. They put representatives from each camp on the screen to yell at each other with basically no dialogue, no understanding, just doing what they do best, perform, right? Oscar winning, Grammy winning levels of performance. And you know what happens? You start seeing the world in binary terms. Everyone becomes either an ally or an enemy. You lose the ability to hold nuanced views or have conversations with people who disagree with you, right? Meanwhile, while we're all fighting each other over the culture war of the week, right? Because it changes. The people who are actually in power, these corporations, these politicians, these elitists, they're laughing all the way to the bank. They're laughing all the way to the bank. The media has successfully turned the population into gladiators fighting in an arena while the emperors count their money. And we're so busy fighting each other that we don't even see the system profiting from our division. Listen, man, this is diabolical. And to my smarts, to my final bosses, to my warriors, to my motivators, right? I got a pop quiz for you guys, right? This is a little pop quiz. How many breaking news alerts did you get this week? If you can remember off the top of your head, was it 10? Was it 20? Was it 50? How many? Now, out of all those alerts, right? Think about this. How many were actually breaking? How many represented genuinely new, immediate, and relevant, life-altering information that you needed to know right now? I'm guessing maybe one or two, if that, right? Maybe one or two. I mean, an event of such significance that regular programming was interrupted to inform the public. This is breaking news. Today, breaking news. Or whatever breaking news, just to get you to click. Look, a celebrity tweeted not too long ago, man. You see it all the time on social media. You see it on when you doom scrolling. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, right? It really isn't. It's just an attention grab, right? Charming words, right? Right? A statement someone once made that it was about something somebody found offensive. That was breaking news. Like how? How? How is something that was said that was offensive to somebody breaking news? Right? It's just crazy. You have a certain news platform that popularized 24-hour news cycle in the early 1980s, right? They were all about news alert, breaking news, right? But before that, you got news what? Twice a day. You got it in the morning, you got it in the afternoon, right? Some people got the morning paper, somebody got the evening news. That was enough. But now it's all day long. It's all day. Yes, everything is breaking news these days. I just stumped my toe. Breaking news. I just tripped. Breaking news. I just bought a can of peas. Check it out. Breaking news. Guess what? I'm drinking some coffee in my trusty Los Angeles Rams mug. Shout out to my team who's winning right now, 31-7. Breaking news. Evil. Listen. Oh man. And that was enough, man. But once cable news realized they needed to fill 24 hours of news content, they had to make everything seem urgent, right? They had to give you those dopamine pills and triggers for anxiety. Now we've got cable news, social media news, podcast news, newsletter news, and all competing, competing, right, for your attention all day, every day. The result is news inflation. News inflation, right? Like you keep playing wolf. Now real crises get lost in the noise. Real truth get lost in the noise because we're drowning in manufactured urgency, right? When everything is presented as an emergency, nothing is treated as an emergency. Let's just call it what it is. You're playing wolf. That's what we used to call it when we were growing up. Oh, you playing wolf. And then when the emergency came, well, it was a real wolf. You just got ate by the wolf. And here's what this does psychologically, right? This is why it's important that you have to break this cycle. You start living in a state of perpetual crisis, right? Your nervous system never gets a break. You're always in fight or flight mode, waiting for the next disaster. You're like, when is coming? When is it coming? When is the asteroid coming? When is World War III coming? When is the next pandemic coming? Right? You never give your nervous system a break. Just waiting for the next disaster. It's unaliving you slowly. It's turning back your internal clock slowly, right? Because you're exhausted in the inside. And what that does, it takes away your sleep. It takes away your rest, your nerves, your anxiety. Now you're taking pills for everything, right? And it's making us sick. Literally. Studies show increased news consumption is correlated with higher rates of anxiety, depression, sleep disorders. The media is selling you urgency as a lifestyle, and you're buying it and paying for it with your health. If traditional media is the drug dealer, social media is the needle. And let me paint you a picture of how this works. A news organization publishes a story. Let's say it's a political scandal. We see those all the time on repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. We got a major one that's supposed to drop tomorrow. Right? The headline is designed to be provocative. Release the files, the e-files, right? The article might even be relatively balanced. Oh, we're going to release all of them, right? but nobody reveals or really reads the article. They read the headline. Someone shares it on social media with their hot take, which is regurgitated. And now it's into an echo chamber and a constant repeat. It's in a vacuum. Someone else quotes it, right? With even hotter verbiage attached to it, right? Now it shows up, it's on your feed. You don't click it, you just see it. You form an opinion. It's sometimes outrage. Sometimes you can scroll through it, but you're still seeing it. Some people retweet it, right? Some people add it to their own commentary. Now, the algorithm sees all forms of engagement. Oh, yeah, it does. It really does. The content is still performing, so it shows it to more people. How long you look at it or glance at it still counts as engagement. And next thing you know, within hours, a story that might have been seen by a few thousand people are seen by millions. But 90% of those millions never really read past the headline. They just engage with emotion. These social media platforms, they're not neutral to this. They're emotional amplifiers, and they're specifically designed to amplify the content that triggers the strongest emotional response. A former social media data scientist, right, testified before Congress that the platform he worked for, algorithm, was literally optimizing outrage. Content that made people angry got more reach than content that made people happy or thoughtful. And why? Why? Because it sells. Because angry people engage more. They comment more. They share more. They stay on the platform longer. And even an extra minute you spend on the platform is another minute you serve the agenda of selling you ads. Your anger is profitable. Your fear is profitable. Your outrage is profitable, right? And these platforms have built billion-dollar businesses on monetizing your emotions. Now, let's talk about, right? Let's pivot for a second. Let's talk about a different kind of pain the media sells. And that's the pain of inadequacy. I'm going to say that again, right? The pain of inadequacy, right? Let that marinate in your spine. Social media isn't just selling you fear about the world. It's selling you fear about yourself. Fear that you're not enough. You're not successful enough. You're not attractive enough. You're not living your best life. And they make it seem like everyone else is. You scroll through these platforms. What do you see? Right? You see people in their mansions and their Rolls Royces and their Lamborghinis. See people all constantly on vacation, right? Driving luxury cars and looking perfect, right? Even with these filters now, looking established, right? And well-to-do, eating the most perfect of meals, right? With their perfect looking lives on these platforms. But here's what you don't see. You don't see the credit card debt. You don't see the failing relationships. You don't see the anxiety. You don't see the depression. You and you know what? In fact, 90% of those posts are mostly staged, filtered, or curated to present an illusion, right? The media, and I'm including a lot of influencers and content creators, I'm including them in this. They're selling you a lie. They're selling you a highlight reel and telling you it's reality. And when you compare your real life to someone else's highlight reel, you will always come up short, people. You will always come up short. To my final bosses, to my warriors, to my motivators, to my smarts, this is psychological warfare, people. It's psychological warfare. Studies show that the more time people spend on these platforms, particularly image-based platforms, right, the higher their rates of depression, anxiety, and it's especially that way amongst our young people, right? Another Harvard study found that social media use is correlated with a decrease in life satisfaction, an increase in life inadequacies. The comparison trap literally makes you hate your life, and it's also making you sick. And you know what the solution is? You know what the solution that the media sells you? You buy this course, you get this book, you get this body, you hire this coach, you buy these clothes, you take this trip, you consume your way into happiness. But here's the truth: you can't consume your way into contentment. And speaking of books, my book is dropping on Thanksgiving, but I'm going to be doing the same thing in my book that I'm doing now. I'm going to be talking about the problem and I'm going to be providing you a solution, not like what they're selling you. They're selling you commitment, contentment. I'm selling you solutions, right? Dropping on Thanksgiving. External go time. Hashtag go time. The all aboard the fired up train. Yes, hashtag go time, all aboard the fired up train. That's my book. It's dropping on Thanksgiving. We're going to be talking about problems and we're going to talk about how to solve them, right? Providing solutions. But the thing about contentment, right? External validation will never fill an internal void. And the more you chase the illusion, the further you get from authentic self. Now, my final bosses, motivators, warriors, smarts, listen up. Diagnosing the problem is one thing, right? And we've been doing that. But let's talk about solutions, right? Because here's the thing. This is what being a part of the Final Boss community, Final Boss Nation is all about, right? I'm not telling you to go live in a cave, right? I'm not telling you to go live in a cave. And I'm not telling you never to go consume social media again. That's not realistic and it's not necessary. But what I'm telling you is that you need to become a conscious consumer instead of a passive victim. You need to understand that your attention is valuable. It's not free. Every minute you spend consuming content is a minute you're not spending building your business, strengthening your relationships, improving your health, or pursuing your purpose, right? The average American spends 7 hours a day consuming media. 7 hours, people. That's crazy. That's nearly half your walking life spent in a state of passive consumption. Imagine what you could accomplish if you reclaimed even half that time, right? If you still need social media, then curate what you follow, what you see on your timeline. Curate it ruthlessly, right? Unfollow accounts that make you feel anxious, inadequate, or angry. Unsubscribe from newsletters that do the same. Turn off news notifications. Yes, turn all of them off. You don't need to keep seeing breaking news or news alert all day long because Turbo, the CEO, is drinking his coffee at 9:57 p.m. out of his Los Angeles Rams coffee mug, right? You don't need to see that. That's not breaking news. That's not breaking news at all. But yes, turn those notifications off. The world would not end because you didn't see a breaking news alert every 30 seconds. Right? I promise you that. If something is truly important, you'll find out about it. We all will. I can name several instances throughout history where things happened. We didn't have our handy devices available, but we found out about it. I'm telling you, turn the notifications off. And look, consume with intent, right? You want to change your algorithm, consume with intent. Instead of mindlessly scrolling and doom scrolling, decide what information you actually need. Then seek it out deliberately, consume it, and move on, right? Like, here's an example. Check the news once a day for 15 minutes from 3 different sources with different perspectives. That's it. That's enough to say, I'm informed, right? The rest of your media consumption is intentional. Let it be from books. Let it be from the Final Boss podcast, right? Let it be from articles related to whatever you're looking at or researching. It could be your business or personal growth. And set time limits. No infinite scrolling, no infinite digesting of this material. And let me give you a framework for evaluating the information you consume. I call it the 4 questions of critical thinking, right? Question number 1. What benefits do you have for believing what you see and read? Every piece of content has an agenda. Sometimes it's obvious it's an ad. Sometimes it's a political message. Sometimes it could be a sales pitch, right? Sometimes it's subtle, but someone always benefits. Follow the money, follow the power. Stay with me. Don't go nowhere. We're almost done. Don't go nowhere. Follow the money. If news stories is making you outraged at a particular group, ask yourself who benefits from the division. If an article is telling you you need to buy something to be happy, ask yourself who profits, right? Question number 2. What's the source and what's their track record, right? Now, not all sources are equal. A peer-reviewed scientific study is not the same as a random guy's tweet thread. A journalist with 20 years of experience is not the same as a content creator who's chasing clicks. Check the source, check their credentials, check their history. Have they been right before? Do they have expertise in the subject? Or are they just being loud? Now, a lot of y'all mofos is being loud. And question number 3, you have to ask, what am I being told? And this one is critically important. Every story is framed in a certain way. Every narrative emphasizes some facts and omits others. What's missing from this picture, you ask? What's the other side of the story? What context am I not getting? Seek out opposing viewpoints. Get out of those echo chambers. Get out of that vacuum. not to fight with people or their viewpoint, but to understand it. The truth is usually somewhere in the nuance of the middle, not in the extremes. Question 4, last question. How is this making me feel? And what's important about that is, how is it making you feel and why? If a piece of content is making you feel strong emotions, fear, rage, anxiety, euphoria, that's a red flag, people. That's a red flag. Not that the content is necessarily false, but that it's been designed to trigger an emotional response, right? And if you have low emotional intelligence, you might be affected by that, right? So when that happens, right, gain your emotional intelligence back. You take a step back, you take a breath, and you ask yourself if the emotion is warranted by the facts or if you're being manipulated. Emotional reactions are normal, but emotional reactions without critical thinking are how you get controlled. Right? And here's something powerful I want to leave with you guys. I want to leave you to my motivators, to my smarts, to my warriors, to my final bosses. You are the author of your own story. The media wants to write the story for you. They want to tell you who you are, what you should fear, what you should want, what you should believe. But you don't have to accept the narrative. You can write your own. What does that mean? Practically, right? It means defining success on your own terms, not based on what these social media platforms tells you what success looks like. It means deciding that problems in the world you actually want to focus your energy on based on your values and your capacity, not based on what's trending, right? It means choosing to see opportunity instead of catastrophe, even when the media is screaming that the sky is falling. I'm not talking about toxic positivity or ignoring real problems. I'm talking about intentional narrative building, right? You decide what story you're living in. When I was in the military, when I was running different businesses, right? I was running my life. I've seen things go wrong more times than I can count. And trust me on that. I faced real crisis, combat deployments, business failures, personal setbacks. But here's the thing I've learned, right? The people who succeed are not the ones who have no problems. They're the ones who refuse to let the problems define their entire reality. And those are bars. The media will always have a crisis for you. There will always be something for you to be outraged about, afraid of, anxious over. Always. That's not going to stop. But you get to choose whether you're going to live in that crisis mentality, that victim mentality, or whether you're going to focus on what you can control. And get out of these pity parties too. Everybody's having problems. Everybody has a problem. Your problem isn't more greater than somebody else's problem. Stop the pity problems. Listen, start keeping the pity problems to yourself, right? And go solve them. Provide a solution to your own pity problems, right? You get to choose whether you're going to live in that crisis mentality or whether you're going to focus on what you can control. Your actions, your reactions, your growth, your contribution. That's what being a final boss, motivator, smart, and warrior is all about, people. And that's what it being about, getting on the fired up train. That's what it's all about. It means taking ownership of your own narrative. So, what do we do with all this information? You ask, Final Boss, what do we do? Well, I'm gonna tell you. Right? How do we move forward in a world where we're constantly being manipulated? I got an answer for you. Right? I got an answer for you. And this is a call to action, right? This is a call to action. And I'm challenging each and every single last one of you, right? Do a 7-day media diet, right? No news, no social media, no clickbait, just for 7 days. Most of y'all can't do it for an hour. But listen, entertain me, man. You know what? Entertain me. Let's say 7 days. Let's say a day. Let's just say a day, right? And see what happens. See what your mental state feels like. See how much time you get back. See if the world actually falls apart because you weren't constantly plugged in, right? And here's a spoiler alert. It won't. It won't. The world isn't going to fall apart because you missed a day of the news or whatever's going on, or doom scrolling every 15 minutes, right? Start replacing consumption with creation. Start getting those creative juices flowing, right? For every hour that you used to spend consuming, spend 30 minutes creating something, right? Go write, build, design, teach, whatever, right? Meditate. Shift from a passive state into an active state, right? Instead of skimming across headlines, go read a book. Read the entire article. Read long form articles, right? Look at sustainable content that requires more focus and thought. Train your brain to engage deeply instead of skimming and doom scrolling, right? And instead of arguing with people who you don't know because of their difference in viewpoints on the internet, which is crazy. Have actual conversations with people, right? Start talking to people face to face, right? Where you can see their own humanity and they can see yours. If you're going to consume the news and content, support creators and organizations that aren't beholden to the advertising model, like the Final Boss Podcast, right? Or subscription-based media. Look at some independent journalists, right? Or creators who provide value without trying to manipulate you. The system we've been talking about tonight, it only works if we participate in it. Take yourself out of it. The moment we stop clicking and doom scrolling and stop engaging with content designed to manipulate us, the whole thing collapses. Your attention is your power. You need to start using it wisely. It is yours and it is free, right? And Final Bosses, finally. Final Bosses, smarts, warriors, motivators, right? I know some of this has been heavy, but I want to leave this conversation with you feeling empowered and not defeated. The media is selling you pain and hope, but you don't have to buy it. You don't have to live in constant fear of the next crisis. You don't have to compare your life to curated lies of those on social media platforms. You don't have to be paralyzed by information overload. You can choose differently. You can choose to be intentional with your intention. You can choose to think critically. You can choose to build your own narrative. You can choose to take action on what you can control and release what you can't. This is what it means to be awake in a world that profits from keeping you asleep, right? I want to thank each and every last single one of you for tuning in tonight, to all my motivators, to my warriors, to my smarts, to my final bosses. Listen, guys, thank you. If this episode resonated with you, please like, share, subscribe it. Not because I need the numbers, because that's not what I'm here for, but because someone you know needs to hear the message. And remember, again, right? The fired up train is always moving. The question is, are you on it, or are you standing on the platform letting other people tell you where it's going? Before I close out, I got to let you guys know. Listen, my new book, it drops on Thanksgiving. #Go Time. All aboard the fired up train. Drops this Thanksgiving. And this is not just a book. It's a motivation workbook designed to help you take control of your narrative and your life. Pre-orders are already going out and available. And I want you to keep your eyes open for my next project that I'm working on called Final Boss Origins, right? That's a superhero novel that I've been working on for years. And now I'm in this creative space, man. I just can't help myself but to write. I just love it. Look, that is going to blow your mind. It really is. I'm really proud of. I'm proud of both of those, man. I'm really proud of both of those. But the Final Boss Origins is going to blow your mind. Yeah, it's going to blow your mind. It really is. But listen, Final Boss family, Final Boss Nation, Final Boss community. Until next time, stay sharp, stay focused, and never forget, you are the final bosses of your own life. We are in this together. We're on this journey together. We're building community together. We're building the Final Boss Nation together. And you know what? Let all of that marinate in your spine. And remember, there's a heavy pain that comes with discipline, but the pain of regret is even heavier. And to each and every single last one of you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This has been the Final Boss Podcast, episode number 148. The media is selling you pain and hope. Pain and hope, baby. And I want each and every last single one of you to have a great week, start of the week. Be balanced, be equal, and be smart. That is our show for tonight. I love you guys. Y'all have a great one. And I will see you tomorrow for Motivation Monday. Take care.
Welcome to the Final Boss Podcast, where microphones and mushroom clouds collide in the most mind-blowing chats. We're talking explosive topics, fiery debates, and the hottest guests. Imagine a creative space background, spacey vibes, and out-of-this-world conversations. It's like chilling with your best buddies, but with way cooler sound effects. Every episode, we take on the universe's biggest questions. You know, the stuff that keeps you up at night. And we do it with a bang. Want to know what happens when you mix gaming, movies, and pop culture? Boom! You get the Final Boss Podcast. So plug in those earbuds and get ready for a wild ride. Whether you're commuting, chilling, or just need a break, we've got your back. Hit that follow button and join us on this cosmic journey. Trust me, you don't want to miss these explosive chats. Catch the Final Boss Podcast now, where every episode is a blast. Stay tuned and stay awesome. Final Boss Podcast, bringing the boom to you.